Hi there everyone, my name is Ethan Duval, and today I'll be demonstrating a project on mobile spyware that illustrates how easily sensitive data can be exfiltrated from a smartphone through surreptitious techniques. This project is for the CS ECE 5590 attack reproduction presentation. To structure this talk, we'll start by discussing how social engineering plays a key role in convincing users to install spyware. Then we'll break down the installation process, examine the system architecture, and demonstrate the capabilities of this spyware, from location tracking to audio recording. Finally, we'll wrap up with key security takeaways and ways to mitigate these risks. Before an attacker can steal data, they first need access to the device. This is where social engineering plays a crucial role, convincing users to willingly install spyware while believing that they're getting something harmless or beneficial. Mobile spyware is a growing threat because our devices hold an enormous amount of personal data: messages, photos, location history, and more. Attackers don't need to break into your phone with advanced hacking techniques. Instead, they can often convince you to install the spyware yourself. This is what makes social engineering so powerful and dangerous. One of the most effective ways to distribute spyware is through enticing offers. In our demonstration, we disguise the spyware as an app that offers free Robux, a popular virtual currency in the popular game Roblox. Users are led to a website that provides step-by-step guidance to install the app, bypassing security measures, hopefully without raising suspicion. Tactics like this work especially well with younger kids and teenagers, and especially elderly. This is because they're much more willing to just follow instructions and not think about consequences or what's happening behind the scenes. Let's break down how users install the spyware. First, they're asked to confirm the download despite Chrome's security warnings. Next, they enable unknown sources, granting permission for non-Play Store apps to be installed. They then approve installation, often overriding the Google Play's protest warnings. Finally, they open the app, unknowingly activate the spyware, and immediately begins collecting sensitive data once permissions are received. These steps highlight how easily social engineering can bypass security measures. Once installed, the spyware exploits permissions granted during installation to access sensitive data and device sensors without the user's knowledge. Here's a screenshot of the dashboard that I have hosted on my local server, illustrating how the spyware operates. The phone regularly polls a remote server for commands executing tasks such as capturing location, taking photos, recording audio, and extracting messages or contacts. The collected data is then exfiltrated and displayed on the centralized dashboard, allowing an attacker to monitor and control the compromised device remotely. This dashboard is built using Flask in Python and Dash to make designing the website a little easier. When running the spyware on an older Android phone, you get a little more freedom. The device allows you to run all of these commands if you have the app running, even if you don't actually have the app open. On more modern Android phones, if you want it to run in the background, you must go into the settings and change it to allow the background access, which most users aren't likely to do. As I'm sure a lot of us are, I'm located here in Northern Virginia, which you can see here with the location provided from the affected phone. The GPS functionality works without needing to request an update from the server side. The phone sends a GPS update every 5 seconds, or if the device is moved 1 meter, and it can also be manually updated, as you see here with the button. This allows an attacker to monitor movements, predict patterns, and even establish places like the victim's home or place of work. Granting this level of location tracking to every app presents serious privacy risks. Without alerting the user on an older Android phone, the spyware can activate the device's camera, capture images, and upload them to a server. Unlike a normal camera app, there's no preview or shutter sound, meaning the users have no indication that their photos are being taken. Most older devices, up to around Android 10 or 11, the app does not need to be open, just running. This allows the attacker to take pictures whenever they want on the phone. On modern Android devices, post around Android 10, 11 again, the app must be open to run these commands. And you will get some sort of icon indicating that the camera is in use, which if you notice, you will know that there's something going on without your knowledge. But oftentimes, this will still even go unnoticed. The spyware can also remotely trigger the device's microphone, recording and uploading conversations without any visible signs. This is specifically or especially dangerous because it allows the attackers to capture sensitive discussions, including business meetings, personal conversations, or even credentials spoken aloud. This way this works is it creates an audio file on the device. Let's let it play, sorry. There you can hear that it recorded me saying ECE 5590. If you couldn't hear that, I'm sorry. The way this works is it creates an audio file on the device in the APK subdirectory. And once it's done recording, it sends the file off to the server. It deletes it and doesn't leave a trace, to the average user at least. 90, ECE 5590, ECE 5590, ECE 5590. Text messages are another valuable data source. The spyware extracts SMS messages and sends them to the remote server, potentially exposing two-factor authentication codes, personal conversations, or financial details. Here you can see that we have SMS. These are the only two messages that have been received on the phone, and it's going to demonstrate what an SMS offload looks like. So here you've seen that I requested SMS offload and then waited a couple seconds. As mentioned before, the phone polls the server to see if there's flags set for certain commands, meaning that there is some time. It can be anywhere between like half a second to 10 seconds depending on when you press request SMS offload. This is for every command. Once you press refresh SMS logs, it will check to see if the information has been sent into the server. Here you can see that we've received both of the messages in order of receipt. So he says the ECE 5590 message, and then the Android is always a sweet treat message, both just showing the phone number as well as the date. I had to run this on an emulator because my Android device doesn't have a SIM card, so it can't receive SMS. So that's why the dates show a little weird. Beyond targeting an individual, spyware can also collect and store the victim's contact list. This allows attackers to expand their reach, potentially using the compromised device to send phishing messages or launch further attacks. Again, here we will request a contact upload and then refresh contacts, and you'll see that it lists ECE 5590 and then test and the phone numbers that they are associated with. Now that we've seen how spyware can operate undetected, let's discuss its security implications and what can be done to mitigate these risks. This attack demonstrates how easily users can be tricked into installing spyware. Once granted permissions, the app can silently collect location data, audio recordings, messages, and more, leading to identity theft, fraud, and surveillance risks. The key takeaway is that social engineering attacks don't require sophisticated hacking. They rely on human psychology and trust. So, how can users protect themselves? First, think before you tap. Don't blindly install apps from unknown sources. Check permissions and ask yourself, does this app really need access to my microphone or contacts? Also, limit your install unknown apps and disable it when it's not needed. Regularly monitor your device for suspicious behavior, such as unexpected battery drain or excessive data usage. Finally, keep your software updated to ensure the latest security patches are applied. Awareness is the first step in preventing these attacks. That wraps up my presentation. Thank you so much for your time. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys may have. Send me a message at my email here or reach out to me.